I feel a little trepidation. Hello. So today I'm going to try to do something new. A little bit more energy, a little bit more concentration. For those who don't know me, which is probably like all but two of you, I'm generally better at reacting than acting. Takes me a little bit of time, unless I'm very comfortable with someone, to get excited. I don't know if get excited is the right word, but I am trying to get out of my comfort zone and to grow as an individual. This has been on my mind for a little while, not just because of the current health situation, but also just the way I've been feeling about myself and my energy levels, my drive, I guess, curiosity. So the kind of unhappiness I've been talking about, it's not like I am not grateful for the things that I have, for the opportunities I have. I was thinking about using this space as a way to push my comfort zone, because kind of doing things the same way and well, honestly, what I've been doing hasn't been working, so try something new, try something different, and see how it goes. Ooh. The usual things that I do, I mean, not that I'm always quiet, always observant. I think whenever there is a problem to be dealt with, I mean, I guess the first idea, the first goal is to identify what the problem is. On my comfort zones, I guess, expressing myself, including being louder, because I know a lot of times I just kind of sink into myself a little bit, and some of that is just behaviors, and I really have to try to remember my I couldn't even think of the word, just like I took a public speaking class. It was definitely one of those situations that made my stomach, like, I would constantly go in there feeling nervous, and even just like sitting down and looking at people made me feel awkward, but I was like, all right, let's do this. Maybe not like, oh, let's do this, but I get excited by, you know, challenging myself and learning new things, and it's not the most comfortable thing, but I mean, you're not gonna grow, you're not gonna learn from comfort, and I could probably babble on about all kinds of things, but I'm trying to be focused. I'm trying to work on my comfort zone theory. So now I am going to go through a quick list of pros and cons as I see them. I am not. Ow, I just scratched myself. I am not going to want to change everything about myself. But, like I said, I think the idea of pushing your boundaries in your comfort zone is helpful. Because, as my husband says, if we don't grow, we fossilize. And then we're just like a living stone. These are going to be general pros because no one is something 100% of the time. I am generally kind. I usually give people the benefit of the doubt. And a con. I'm not the most adaptable person. Another con is I have some, I don't know if it's necessarily a learning disability, but there are ways that I learn better than other ways. Sometimes I'm very tactile, some ways I'm very visual. On the pro side, I have a pretty good ear for music and language. But sometimes I have to be very careful. I have to like write things down in order to remember them. Let's see. Negative aspects. I can get anxious. I have that habit of like not wanting to make phone. When I have the energy, I can do a lot of work. The downside is I don't always have the energy and motivation to do things. When I do things, when I am doing things, I put a lot of effort into it. And for example, if I'm making a sweater for somebody, I put a lot of energy into it. And I'm not, like the greatest artist, and I'm not the greatest knitter. I've been kind of leveling up the last few years from the stuff that I learned when I was a teenager. I don't know if imagination should go in the pro or the con, because honestly, sometimes I feel like I have a good imagination, and other times I feel dry. And so then I have to like tap into the collective pool of imagination that exists. People, get inspired by other people. I wish that I could express my admiration better. Sometimes I'll be on Facebook and I'll see people, and the like button is good, or the love button, or YouTube. Sometimes I'll just see people and I'll just get like a happy glow be like, there's that person, they're doing their thing, you know, I really like that photo they took, or I really like how they're finding articles for themselves and spreading knowledge, and you know, I've got like really interesting, thoughtful, kind family members and friends. You know, some of them don't think the same way about everything as I do, but I still respect their opinion. The only time I get really upset is when a person is trying to inhibit someone else, or like keep someone, I don't know, like restrain someone. I'm a big believer in equality. And I know there's a lot of ugliness in the world. I often wish that I could do more. And then I go back and forth between like, what can I do? What should I do? You know, the whole like personal accountability versus well, that is a big conversation probably for later, but I'm gonna try to think of 2 or 3 ways of pushing and expanding my comfort zone, doing things that I'm uncomfortable with, and I'll start working on them on another video here. I just thought of another potential con. I guess we're doing con on this side of my head. I have that kind of like really good intentions, not always reliable for the follow through. Sometimes I forget things. Sometimes I get distracted. Sometimes I get overwhelmed. Honestly, having my third daughter, my last daughter, changed my life more than I expected it to. But I'm excited about this journey, and if you would like to comment on something, talk about what I should try to work on, any requests that you have, anything you're like, oh wow, you know, I've done this, I wish I was better at this, I'd be really interested, because I feel like there's always been part of me that's like, I wish I could go out and interview people. I mean, not like, you know, like the news people do, but just like all of the people in the world. How often you get a chance to talk to people and just be like, everybody's got a story. I'd like to know something about you, and I could learn from it. Yeah, so that's like one of my alternate dimension jobs or something. I don't know. I have to push myself. So we're going to be pushing. And the latest thing I did, I got myself a keyboard, and I'm gonna try to be working on my music some more. Nothing fancy. See if I can do kind of like a comfort zone theme. Work on that. Should probably wrap this sucker up, because I got things to do and less time to do them in. Alright. Best wishes to everyone. Terselli. And see you next time. Ciao.